Hi, good evening, and welcome to On the Line. This is your host, Britton Carter. And before we get started, let me remind you as to how to follow us. You can follow us at Watch On The Line TV show. That's hashtag Watch On The Line TV show, and that's on Twitter. You can also follow us by Facebook and Twitter at On The Line. Tonight, and I know y'all hear me say it all the time, I got very special guests. Well, tonight, I got the crown jewels of guests. I got two of the most dynamic, two of the most beautiful women that I've ever seen in the Cincinnati area. They're gifted, they're lovely, they're young and vivacious. And tonight I have with us Miss Ariel Underwood and Miss Christian Lumpkin. I wanted to say that right because she corrected me, right? so we have these two young women with us today, and they're from the Cincinnati area, and they're very gifted. And they've got their own company, they do plays, and they're great performers, they're great partners. They're like sisters, or they are sisters. You better not say like to them. They're actually considered, they're sisters. So tonight, without any hesitation, we're gonna get right to it. We're gonna open our show up with Miss Ariel Underwood. Ariel,
hello.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So Ariel, in that brief introduction, I didn't hit on the fact that you were here in the performing arts. You went to the School of Performing Arts. Can you give us just a brief run through of your background?
Yes.
Update us.
Well, I grew up in Cincinnati. I did graduate from performing arts. I also went to Shield Elementary School before that.
Okay.
But I come from a performing family. My father was a performer. My mom was a church performer, but you know that's where the best are.
Yeah, absolutely.
But after that, I went to American Idol when I was 16 at performing arts. Left there, toured the country with the band that I was singing with. I had went on The Voice. Between those times, just doing some performing. I've done a couple independent films, and just really out here just trying to make sure that people know that you can live your dream and still take care of yourself as an adult.
Absolutely. Now your father, we were talking before the show.
Yes.
He sung back.
Yes, my father used to sing background. And that's kind of like where I got the notion to want to sing background. I sang background for Nick Lachey for a little while after we won a TV show called Clash of the Choirs for Cincinnati, and we brought home the gold here. So it was really, really fun. I've done like a lot of stage performances as far as like church and school, and then also I was the first Marian Black Nativity for the Cincinnati Black Theater Company. So
Jackie Jackson and
yes, Mr. Sherman, Don Sherman. So yes. I have a lot of experience being able to be on stage. So that in turn brings me around to like why we're here with you to talk about the Demarco Plays and Film, which is the company that we're with right now, and we're putting on the stage play of Waiting to Exhale. So I'm really excited about that.
Wow. That was such a great movie. And the part that I remember most in Waiting to Exhale. This would make a brother act right? So
which one do you remember?
When they burned up the brother's clothes.
Hello.
I'm like, listen.
That's everyone's
Yes.
Please don't burn up my clothes.
Yes, and people wonder why I left out burned up her man clothes. That's what happens when you drive us crazy. You burning up them Nikes.
Ooh. Well, I don't wear Nikes often, but please don't burn up my shoes.
Okay.
Yes. So
yes.
let's move on to your friend Christina. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well.
Come on, you give me some too.
Yes.
Give me some too.
I'm so happy to be here.
I'm thrilled.
Yes.
I'm thrilled. So, give us a little bit about your background, how your humble beginnings here in Cincinnati.
Well, I basically do a lot of events and networking with a lot of artists here in Cincinnati. That's how I met Ariel probably over 10 years ago.
Okay.
I was working on an event and she came and sang, killed it, and ever since then we kind of been just connecting on the music level because we share that passion.
Okay.
But also as business partners because we're both very driven and our goals have aligned a lot. So as far as production, that's always been first nature to me. So being able to work behind the stage is very exciting for me on all levels.
So are you saying that to me for a reason, like work behind the stage? Is that like a hint or something? If you all don't know, we're having auditions here tomorrow. And of course, they don't need an audition. But I've asked these two lovely young women to join our cast, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow.
Definitely.
So you do a lot of the branding.
That's right.
For artists.
Yes,
Okay.
branding, marketing, basically making people get to know the person on an individual level and just how to present themselves to the rest of the world. But yes,
Great.
backstage, definitely need some help. We can make it happen.
Okay, well, I'm gonna need you to make it happen. So, and moving back to Demarco Plays, you know, I was reading your bio, and it was interesting. You know, the trail that you had traveled. You know, to Chicago. I think you went to Chicago.
Yes.
You know, can you elaborate a little bit about that, and kind of talk about how that was from the perspective of a young person, a young adult, really venturing out into this field, you know?
Yes.
It had to be intense for you.
Oh, definitely intense. Well, Demarco Plays started in 1999. It's actually a company that also pushes the ministry of Jesus Christ. Like, we want people to know that our company does, you know, want to, like I just said, push the name of Jesus Christ, push the fact that people need to be able to come together and understand that, you know, God does lead our lives, and anything that he, you know, makes his will for us to do is going to happen. So, like, even in our rehearsals, every time before rehearsal, we do a prayer before, just so we can all be one mind and one accord with, you know, our higher power. So it started in Chicago with Antoine Demarco, who's actually the producer for Waiting to Exhale. The show, they started with 2 shows, which was called Philadelphia and Dear Diary. And Philadelphia is actually a show that's kind of like a play on the lives of young men in the street, you know, kind of like trying to strive and survive to be, you know, just to make it, and kind of the struggles that you go through with that. And then Dear Diary is actually a play about different couples and the different things that couples go through, from adultery, domestic violence, peer pressure. But that's one thing that Antoine loves to push in the place, is just taking situations that, you know, we either have gone through or somebody that we love has gone through, and just being able to create that morale and that overcoming part to show people they can get through whatever. So,
and on that same vein, you know, I'm quite sure your parents, by them being involved in you know, in the industry, they kind of protected you and had a hands-on approach. How difficult was it for you at a young age to kind of shield off some of that? I'm quite sure there was countless of advancements. Yeah. You know, we see today where they talk about the advancement, you know, with women that have advanced due to relationships.
Yes.
How did that play out for you?
Well, definitely what played out is coming from a great foundation. My parents were together about 40 years, and if it's one thing that I saw from my parents was that, you know, just staying faithful. You know, I know a lot of things can come to you in your life, even as a kid at performing arts. You know, at performing arts, you're like 8 years old. You kind of get to do whatever you want to do all the way up until you're 17, 18 when you graduate. But with being able to be exposed to so much, and with the foundation that my parents gave me, it just allowed me to, you know, kind of stay out of a lot of trouble. Like, yeah, that might be cool to be a part of that, but at the end of the day, if it's not, what's the word I'm trying to say?
Aiding your goals.
Yes, aiding your goals, aiding to your success. That's what's my sister.
That's right.
Aiding your goals or aiding to your success is kind of a waste of time. And sometimes in our community, we allow distractions to keep us away from, you know, our goals. Sometimes our friends can almost be that person that is deterring you from reaching your goals. So, you know, that's what my parents pushed to me all the time. It's cool to have friends, but at the end of the day, when it comes to Judgment Day, it's only going to be me and him. And I just want to make sure that he says that, you know, you are a great servant and, you know, open up them pearly gates for me. So.
Okay, that's fantastic. Grew up in Cincinnati?
Yes. Okay. Originally in Byron Hill.
What? My neighborhood.
Yeah. You familiar with Corinth Street?
Am I familiar?
Yes.
We were like, my family was like the first black family on our street in 1967, 68.
Wow.
You know, and it was like an all spot up under my mother's car. Of course, we know all is black. The night or day, and there were little eyeballs peeping out of the shades. You know, and it was like we were the only blacks on the street. So am I familiar? Yeah.
Yes, that was my grandparents, my niece and Robert Lumpkin.
Okay.
So my grandmother was a teacher, and my aunt is a teacher. She's actually the superintendent over the Cincinnati Public School District right now. So just a strong family that come from educators and but basically that in and of itself inspired me to want to work on this project with Ariel, because people that don't necessarily have that background get to come and express themselves through art and overcome a lot of the things that we're talking about in our script. So yeah, it's a really
You know, and I'm quite sure that you all heard of Mazan, right? And Mazan, I had dubbed her the Susan the Past, you know, of this industry, because she brings so many people together. You know, and I venture to say that you have that Susan the Past vein in you. You bring so many artists together, you know, and that's a heck of a gift, is to be able to sit back and recognize a potential artist and the talent that they possess.
That's right.
You know, how frustrating does that get for you when it doesn't work?
It gets very frustrating because I'm honestly very cut and dry when it comes to whether people are able to deliver or not. And it's not to say that I don't see some potential, but I'm gonna be very specific about what I see is appropriate for whatever role they're trying to fill. So yeah, it's frustrating, but I love it.
Great. So where are we at in your play? Where are we at in the?
So we are actually 2 weeks out from production. I mean, from the production being on. Our opening night is February 23rd.
Yes.
Friday, February 23rd. The show is at 8 o'clock. We'll have 5 shows that weekend. We'll have a matinee and an evening show, both the Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
On our evening shows, it actually comes with a VIP ticket that has a dinner and dessert and coffee and a meet and greet with the other actors.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool, just trying to allow the audience to experience the actors, and it's a very interactive play. So a lot of the scenes happen like kind of around the audience. So they'll actually feel like they're in the play. So
I love that concept.
Yeah, it'll make it really fun.
Concept.
Make it really fun.
Yeah, that's great. Audience participation does so much for production.
Right.
It's just, you know, that it's great. Surely I want to be there for the VIP, of course.
Yeah.
You know, because I want to rub some elbows.
Come on, bring your fine stuff in
Yeah,
there. Come
rub
on.
some elbows, you know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna be dancing. I'm
We
like,
got some really great food.
Yes, very great food for the
VIP
VIPs for sure.
Great,
for sure.
great.
And just an all-out great experience. The show, I said starts at 8, but we'll open doors an hour before. We have some great vendors that people can be able to come and check out, and yeah, it's just going to be a really great experience. Our first show together was doing for Colored Girls that we did at TAF, and that show was just so heavy because if you're familiar with the play or the movie for Colored Girls, it was really about, you know, a lot of these different issues that so many different women were going through. So it was very heavy. So to be able to do Waiting to Exhale, which is, you know, a lot more comical and fun, and then too, it just, you know, gives us another chance to show some different emotions. Our actors are learning that comedy on stage is all about timing. You know, so it's definitely a great lesson to be able to see people to work through.
Yeah, and to engage with the audience, they oftentimes, I find that they give you your cue. You know, and you're right, they're as much a part of the play as the material that you're presenting.
Right, for sure.
So that's great. That's great. So let me ask you, what are your thoughts? And either you can answer this, and both of you actually. You know, do we have any thoughts as to how we can engage our community, particularly our youth, in terms of teaching and grooming and, you know, a school, if you will? You know, I've talked to countless of other artists, Lee Zellers, Robert Jones, Gwendolyn Gordon, and, you know, and I asked this question, and, you know, because I think that it's imperative that we find a way to give back specifically through our craft. Right, you know, this is what we know, and they don't have to be Michael Jordans. They don't, you know what I mean? They don't have to be LeBron James. They can be actors and writers and people that brand people and promote people and agents.
Talent agents. Yes.
But we need you all to. So, do you all have any thoughts of getting together with some people and constructing that type of setting, or?
Well, I would definitely say that people can go to demarcoplays.com, and we just have kind of like a small questionnaire that people can fill out just to be affiliated with the company. We're going to be starting like some more acting classes and improv classes, because I think with people is just knowing that the opportunity is there. Like, you know, there are a couple different places where actors can go to learn stuff, but it's not a lot for us in our community. So really just us allowing people to do the plays with us is, you know, to build that. Because one thing I noticed For Color Girls, it was so many friendships that were built and so many relationships that were built through that play, because some of these people were going through that.
So it's therapeutic then?
Definitely. So I definitely think it'll be good for young people to be able to come and work in any aspect, whether they're acting or stage hands. There's so many parts of production that they can come and really get their hands in and be able to express themselves and take their mind off of, you know, everyday stress or struggles. But yes, definitely want to create a space where we can open up and have young people of all ages come
express themselves.
Express
themselves. That's one of the things we don't get to do in the community, which I think is the reason why so many negative things is happening in our community. You know, if we had a better way to express how we feel, or express how we were hurt, you know, or express how we were able to engage with ourselves, our community would be better at engaging with each other.
That's a mouthful. Well said. And that's basically what I'm driving at, is that if we create an avenue so that we can navigate some of our youth, you know, and this city here is, and this isn't New York, this isn't California, this isn't Chicago. You know, how difficult early on was it for you to like engage in the industry here, and you know, and just to reach out to other actors and that type of thing? Was it a difficult task early on?
I mean, I think it was difficult to really find professionals, so to speak. But the regular community was very receptive of us doing our casting calls. So that right in and of itself was refreshing, because we got authentic talent, like people that were coming from a raw place. They just had, you know, something they wanted to share with the world.
I think for me as a director, the only difficulty for me was people having the confidence to come out and do it. You know, like after the first show we did, we just got a whole slew of all different actors, people I had never met before. Like even with us performing in the city, I perform with a band like every week at either Carlo and Johnny's, Jags, different places like that. And I don't see any of these performers. So I'm just like, it was so exciting to see them, so exciting for them to want to come and be a part of it. Because like I said, some of us don't know the opportunity is there. You have like Shakespeare Theater downtown, the No Theater, Playhouse in the Park. But a lot of these places cast out of these huge cities like New York and Chicago, and there's really not a lot of opportunity for the actors here to, you know, get their feet wet. So, you know, we just want y'all to get y'all feet wet.
Well, I know when we was here last week, and we couldn't get this show off last week, you know, so I once again, I'm so grateful that you know, decided to come back and give me another crack at it. But I remember one thing specifically that you said. You pay folks.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
so,
we do.
Yeah, so that's great. And I think that's, you know, of course that's a motivator in itself.
Yes.
You know, it's for someone to know that they're going to be paid for their craft, for their work. But that's not always the case. And, you know, I think we were talking about how early on, you know, or, you know, at different times, you have to kind of donate your talent.
Right.
You know, and for the lack of a better word, kind of padding your stats, you know, build your portfolio. Is that something that you advise of some of your actors?
I definitely, I definitely advise people to get their feet wet. But if there's one thing my father used to tell me, even since I was a child, he said, Ariel, if they make you sweat, they need to cut you a check.
Ooh. Don't say that too many more times, because I can't cut you a check.
No, but more of it was about just not the fact of the check, but the possibility of the check. Like the opportunity can be the check. The network can be the check. You know, your network needs to be your net worth. So you need to make sure that you put yourself around people that are trying to help you be better. You know, the saying says, iron sharpen iron, not wood sharpens wood. You know,
metal sharpen metal.
Yeah, so that's one thing we try
to stay away from the mold.
I just want our actors to know, like, we put in a lot of work for you guys, and we're not, producers that just want to put in all of this work with you guys and we take home this chunk amount of money or whatever like that. Right. But it's really to build that camaraderie with us in our community. So many of us don't trust each other. Ooh. So many of us don't trust each other. So regardless however the process may have went, if I keep my word with you and give you what I say I'm going to give you, and you keep your word with me and give me what I need, then we're building a better relationship. As minuscule as it might seem to some people, just your word being your bond can take you so far. So we definitely want people to know that you come to this company, you can trust us. We definitely want to help you help yourself, and help us help you. So
well, one of the things I know about being a director is that you definitely need another set of eyes. And it's so, you need
and she
somebody.
Got 4. You didn't know?
You need that one that's going to crack that whip.
Yes. If I part her hair, it's like 2 on the back, too.
Look, I can tell. I'm sitting over here, cutting my eyes, and I can see that she'll crack that whip.
Yes, this is look, people don't know, like, this is my observer. Like, right. Me and her have so many discussions about stuff because it might be something that I miss. Right. You know what I mean? But you need that person to be able to help you to see that, and we do that for each other. So I tell people all the time, if it's one thing that I learned from For Color Girls, you need a team to be successful at anything.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
You might be able to get it done yourself, but you probably got a whole head of gray hair when you just could have had somebody help you, and it would have made it easier. And ain't nothing wrong with gray hair, baby. We like our silver foxes. It's all right out here.
Yeah, I got a little bit in my beard, but I done lost it all up top. People drive me crazy.
That's all right. That's all right.
How difficult? Do you ever run into difficult times working with her? I know she could be a handful. Huh? Well, artists are so temperamental, don't you think?
Well,
artists?
Don't let her twist it. She an artist too.
I said artist.
It is challenging, but in the end, it's so rewarding because we both love to pay attention to details.
Passion.
Mm-hmm. So, no matter what, we're going to grind it out and make sure that it's presented well.
Great.
Yes.
Right, for
Fantastic.
Sure. Fantastic. For sure. And prayer gets you through a lot.
Yes.
Okay.
It really does. Yeah.
And I hear, the theme of prayer. I hear you speak about your belief, your religious beliefs. Had you always had that as a child, both of you, and this is for both of you. Have you always had that?
Yes, I was actually raised in the church, so that foundation is important to me as well because, a lot of times where you could have went left along this life, that foundation kind of brings you back to a moral standing that allows you to make better choices.
Right.
So regardless of your specific religion, just that understanding that there's a creator that is in control and has, inspired life, and what you have a purpose here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. To carry out.
Right.
It's a lot.
Right. And more than just religion, but just a spirituality. Like, we really try to tell our people about manifesting what it is that you want and just having control of your mind and making sure that you keep your mind on positive things, because what you put out is exactly what the universe is going to give you back.
Yes.
I know that's right. And I like the fact that you keep your religion, incorporated into your lifestyle, because it is your life. It is your life. It's your moral compass.
Right.
And I think that's what you were alluding to.
Yes.
In order to have a solid moral compass.
Yes.
And I think for us in the African American community, and by the way, I'll be remiss if I don't say this, but great job. It's Black History Month. We got 28 days to be black, y'all.
Come on.
Thank you.
365 for real, but we'll say 28.
But work these next few weeks, and it's ironic that your show is February 23rd.
Yes.
So, that's another incentive.
Right.
It's Black History Month. Come down and support these sisters. Please come down and support these sisters. We've got 4 minutes, actually, before we wrap this thing up. So I had to say that to keep that in mind. But I really want you guys to bring home, your events, where we can find you at, how we can follow you, what can we see you in after this series that you're doing?
Yes.
Are you doing any movies as a matter
Yes.
of fact? Any movies?
After our play, we will be casting for a web series that's going to be called MLK Boulevard.
Okay.
We'll start that in March, so keep your eyes open for that. But again, you
Okay.
can find us at DemarcoPlays.com. Please come fill out our questionnaire just so we can be able to have information on you, put you in our email bucket so we can, send updates on what it is we have going on. But the show is February 23rd through the 25th. The tickets are $25 for matinee, $30 for evening, and $50 for the VIP. So just please come check us out. And a week after that, we'll be doing a show in Indy. So when we do shows here in Cincinnati, we actually go up to Indy and do shows in Indianapolis too. So they'll be a weekend apart, and they'll be doing for Color Girls in Indianapolis.
Okay, so it's a weekend apart. So
Yes.
if you do it this weekend here, then you're in Indy the next weekend.
Yep.
Oh, that's fantastic. You
Yes.
guys stay busy there.
Definitely.
You're
Yes.
constantly on the road.
We had like a week off for Color Girls rapping, and then we started auditioning
Casting,
for Waiting
yeah.
to Exhale. But that consistency is what's going to bring us the success. So we have to keep the train rolling.
I know that's right. Stay consistent. Stay
Yes.
consistent. Stay out there on the line. This is on the line, and we ask the tough questions. We ask the really tough questions. And would you guys ever leave here? For say, for instance, you get a better offer in another city. Would you take your show on the road and leave Cincinnati, or?
Well, this is the home base, but we definitely want to travel. There's a lot of the world to see. We want to take our mission and good energy and share it with others. So. Yeah.
And we do want to leave, but one thing I feel like we can bring Hollywood here. I feel like the
Right.
Midwest.
That's
is the
what I
place
want to hear,
where
girl.
people
Okay.
want to be a part of. We have our own little. We're actually trying to
Right.
build our own little chitlin circuit here between us, Indianapolis,
That's what I
Chicago,
wanted to
Columbus.
hear.
So we want to be able to let people know that if you cannot afford to go to LA, like we might be, we got some place for you to be able to start. Like I said, Demarco Plays has a couple artists on like Empire Now, Stars. We have 2 people that just finished up the Transformers movie. So it's opportunity is just that, and it can take you wherever. You just got to be ready.
You heard it, right? LA, right here. You don't get the weather, but
Cincy Wood.
hey, right here. DeMarco Plays. Get out and see it. We got Ariel. We got Christina. Christian.
Yes.
Christian.
Yes.
I don't know why I want to call her Christina. Christian and 2 beautiful ladies. Go see them. Stay with them. This is Big New One Carter, and this is On the Line. Peace.